Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, enemies and friends, welcome to the show that never ends. You are tuned into On the Real on the R Squared Network. I'm your host, Steve Johnson, and joining me today is my brother from the same mother, Mr. Johnson.
Hello out there on TV land.
How you doing today there, Chief?
Chilling, a little congested.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So cold outside?
No, man, I just got really bad allergies.
Allergies, okay. I'm sorry to hear that, buddy.
Yeah, you know how it is.
And the last best hope for the resistance, Mr. Woods.
Okay. What up?
You sound like you didn't know it was you.
No, I wasn't sure about that. There was like a delay.
Next?
No, but there was just kind of a delay going before introducing. I appreciate that though. Okay. Thank you.
So,
Fun fact?
How you doing? Come on, man. You gotta let that organically be introduced.
Exactly. Well, but nonetheless, I'm cool. And fun fact. Right? Mistress.
Okay.
Turned wife, Julie Chen.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
Her husband.
I wasn't sure where this was going for a second.
All right, stay with me here.
Okay.
It's a fun fact. Her husband, Les Moonves, right?
Ah, from CBS, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Who maybe is getting investigated. I mean, maybe. Right? For sexual misconduct and intimidation from a dozen women, blah, 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 blah. Right? He is 68.
Okay.
Right? Bill Cosby.
Okay.
When he was first, sexual misconduct accused and they were going after him and things like that, he was 68.
Okay. Is that just like the year of the takedown?
Well, maybe Les Moonves is getting investigated versus Bill Cosby is in jail. So
Bill Cosby's not in jail.
Yeah.
He's under house arrest.
Yeah, he'll appeal. Okay. So
you don't think he'll ever see a day in real jail?
I don't think so, no.
And he'll probably die before then?
Well, he is an older man. All right. With that, why don't we get into the news? All right. First things first. As the title says,
all the honeys. Yeah.
Elba, Idris Elba.
Yeah.
It's been all the talk and the buzz of the movie sort of blogosphere and Hollywood that Idris Elba could be the next James Bond.
Bring on the Black Bond.
And I am here to say,
I'm here for it.
As much as I would like it, don't believe the hype.
You don't believe it?
That is a direct quote
from Idris himself.
Yes.
Okay.
So, who wants to give background on this thing?
Fake news. It's all fake news.
Anybody?
No.
Okay.
Who's the one started this whole Idris Elba thing?
Okay, we don't know who started
originally.
It. Well, okay, I'll tell you how it started.
Did Idris Elba himself start it?
No.
On some Tyrese shit,
No.
When he's putting Photoshop pictures of himself with Green Lantern out there?
So we know for a long time that not only Black Twitter, but
what is Black Twitter? Is Black Twitter an app? Or is Black Twitter just black people who use Twitter?
It is the latter.
Okay. So is there a white Twitter? Is there a Chinese Twitter?
That is everything else.
Is it a Puerto Rican Twitter?
It could be, yeah.
No, because why is there a term called Black Twitter?
Because that's where, that's where the end things are happening. There's a Beyonce Twitter. It's called a Beehive.
I don't like this sub Twitter thing. It's like being called African American or some shit.
No. Black Twitter is what a cool
Twitter's Twitter.
Listen, if it wasn't for Black Twitter, Twitter would be dead.
Yeah,
that's for black people who use Twitter. Because black people control the culture.
Black Twitter and the president, but yes.
It's an enclave of people who help Twitter continue on, and yes,
Trump does keep
Trump
Twitter
carried the baton all the way home.
Yes.
So
and his minions. Now,
I'm not a Twitterer myself. I don't tweet. I mostly be on the gram.
Okay, it works. It all works.
Continue.
Yeah. So how this started is when everyone knew that the rights for James Bond were moving from the studio that they were at to a new studio. Basically, the rights for James Bond were up for sale. And I think Sony had them before, or MGM had them before, and now they're going to Sony or something like that. They move from one studio to another. Right. And we all know that, or it's been made very clear by Daniel Craig, that Bond 25, which is the 25th Bond film, will be Daniel Craig's last James Bond movie.
He also said that his other Bond would be the last one.
He did, but
and then the other Bond before that was going to be his last one. Exactly. See, there you go.
He's like, you got to cut the check, bro. Then he'll keep doing it.
But so going off of the idea that this would be his last one, and again, that was probably just a negotiation tactic so he could get it back.
Right.
But with this being his last Bond, speculation started. Well, who could be the next James Bond? And there was a lot of talk about maybe Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki, or Henry Cavill, who plays Superman.
No, I can't see it.
I could. He's a Brit.
No, I still can't see it.
Have you seen The Man from U.N.C.L.E.? You should check it out if you didn't.
Yeah, but I don't see him as James Bond. I don't see it.
Okay. Not even after watching Mission Impossible?
No.
Okay.
I see Tom Hiddleston. I could see that.
Tom Hiddleston is more like the Pierce Brosnan, right?
Yeah.
Whereas...
Wouldn't you think Henry Cavill is more Pierce Brosnan?
I feel like Henry Cavill is one of those Daniel Craig types that occupies both roles. So basically, with Bond, you have the Sean Connery Bond and the Roger Moore Bond. Sean Connery is rough, gritty, punch you in the mouth because he's a Scot, right? And then you have the Roger Moore Bond, which is just suave, chill,
very smooth,
right? So yep. Pierce Brosnan falls into the Roger Moore Bond, right?
Right.
When you think Bond, who do you think? Who's your definitive Bond? I would say freaking
Daniel Craig. It is for me.
Daniel Craig.
It's definitely Daniel Craig.
Sean Connery.
Absolutely.
F on out of it, bro.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery, bro.
Now, what people were saying is, well, who can embody what Daniel Craig has embodied, which is the sort of the amalgamation of the grit and the suave. And the logical choice is Idris Elba. Like, not even, if you even take color out of it.
You don't remember how much of a big uproar it was when Daniel Craig became James Bond because he had blonde hair?
Yeah, I mean, people are stupid.
And not to mention, he's like
Fun
ugly.
fact.
He's very okay. Unattractive.
People are stupid.
Pause. Not that I look at dudes like that, but it's just that he don't seem to me like, classically handsome, as they would say.
Well, he
seems too ugly to play a Bond.
But again, you're thinking Pierce Brosnan.
I don't know. He just doesn't. He's too dirty looking to be Bond to me.
That's what made it dope. That's
those
dirty
those
looking
poker games. Okay, but the point is,
then pick this dude. What's his name? Transporter.
No, he's definitely too dirty. Jason Statham.
Why?
Jason Statham is way too dirty to be Bond.
I would argue that he's not much dirtier than Daniel Craig.
Nah. See, you thinking layer cake Daniel Craig? That's where I know Daniel Craig from. But anyway, the point is,
it was dope when he landed. You know what I'm saying? And then
fixed up the tie. Yes,
that was the coolest shit he ever did.
That was Skyfall. That will forever live on. But the point is, the talk has come about who's going to play the next Bond, and a bunch of names were floated around. But the name that people got most excited about was Idris Elba.
Yeah,
that was almost a year now. That has been the thing. So an article recently came out saying that Antoine Fuqua was speaking with the producers of the Bond franchise, and Antoine Fuqua says the producers told him it's high time and they'd be totally okay with a black James Bond. And the internet went crazy.
Right.
And to fan the flames
in both directions
of the
right.
Yes, we could get into the people calling it white genocide if we wanted to, but I don't care about those people, right? But people were very excited about it, and so jumping into the because I guess he was the topic of this, and people were probably sliding in his DMs. Idris Elba just put out a tweet that said, "My name is Elba."
Idris Elba. And then everybody got hyped.
Yes.
Right.
And then right after he put that tweet out, because I guess some angry phone calls got sent out.
Right.
And Antoine Fuqua's publicist came out and said there is no truth or validity to whatever article that says that Antoine Fuqua was talking with the producers of Bond, and they've said they never met. Not that they never met, but they never discussed any such Bond, any topic related to Bond.
Right.
And then Idris Elba tweeted out, "Don't believe the hype."
Right.
Yo,
so it's
they
not
just
happening.
don't want to let the cat out the bag till it's ready to be let out the bag, till the bag is secured, I should say.
Honestly,
it was just like, yo, it's just like, when you're getting a new job, but it's like you don't want to tell people until you actually in the job. You know what I'm saying? Like that, because you want to jinx it.
Money.
You don't want to mess up the church's money, so shut the F up. You know what I'm saying? Shut the F up until the ink is dry.
Honestly, I think
it's just like how Marvel is already doing some stuff with like planning stuff, but they can't say nothing about it until the ink is dry.
Sure. And I think that
it's 50-50 is what I'm saying.
Look, honestly, I think it would make more money with Idris Elba at the helm than hey, what's happening, Angel? I think it would make more money with Idris Elba at the helm than anyone else that is like a front runner fan wise right now. Just because of the hype that would be around it. Right. It would be stunt casting. Even though I think he's the perfect Bond right now.
Right.
And I'm not one of those people who are like, Bruce Wayne they should cast Bruce Wayne as a black guy or Peter Parker as a black guy. I'm not one of those guys, but I think that Idris Elba would be the perfect Bond. I think he embodies that character, especially if you've seen him in Luther.
Right.
Basically,
or any of his other stuff.
Basically, Black Dollars is big right now. After Black Panther, it's money. It's gold in them there hills. If they put him in there, it's gonna make money. I feel like it's high time we got more.
You need the right director.
We got more blockbuster movies with, black casts.
And he's a Brit.
Yeah.
Right. So like, it's not like you're just.
And I don't want
American.
If they're gonna do it, I want a largely black cast and not just like him, the only black person.
I
See, now that's
why that's asking too much.
No, it's not about asking too much. You want these things to feel
like
natural, right?
It feels like it's a pandering
right?
thing.
So the thing is,
so now the whole world changes to where it's like all.
It's not natural for him to be around other black people. It's just like
the bureau or the or what do you call the age? MI6?
No,
yeah.
I don't think is it? No, M3. I don't know. Whatever.
No, MI6 is Mission Impossible.
Mission Impossible.
You sound mad dumb right now.
No. But the point is, it is what it is, and it's going to be inhabited with what it's inhabited with. And there is a lead character who is black in the Daniel Craig Bond movies. So there's
a lot of black people in Britain. Is all I'm saying.
And there are black people in the movies, right? Like Jeffrey Wright is a.
All I'm saying is
character.
his love interest better be black.
Idris Elba?
Yeah,
you're talking about if he's the Bond?
Yep.
Oh, Brianna's watching us too. And Miss Baldiaki's watching us.
Hey.
So the point is, I'm all for it. I don't think you need to like go crazy and make it like next thing you know they're gonna be playing like rap music or whatever.
Right.
Nobody said all of that, man. There's a lot of black music. There's gospel. There's jazz. There's all kinds of black music.
I think you should play James Bond music in it. But I think
Idris Elba is a smooth dude.
Right.
And he can absolutely take over, dominate the role, and continue as Bond for years to come.
I think so.
Right?
I would agree.
I also can, now that you bring up the name Henry Cavill, I can sincerely see Henry Cavill, but he does fall into the place of the...
less exciting?
No. Just that smooth, more of a pretty boy Bond versus like Idris Elba being that mixture of, handsome man,
I think that,
but still grit to him.
I think Tom Hiddleston would be the pretty boy Bond. I think that I think Henry Cavill could play both of those roles nicely. I just don't think he would be as exciting. To me, personally.
Just seeing Henry.
I would be hype if it was like, oh,
Idris Elba? Oh, I might have to go see this.
I mean, I go see all the Bond movies.
It's all
Anyway.
I
about
don't.
Bond. Yeah.
If it's Idris Elba, I go see it. That's interesting to me.
So, all right. Over under 50%. Is this thing going to happen?
It's 50-50.
But what side? Over or under 50? That means is it
I would
a
lean
little bit higher
towards
than
the
50?
possibility of it happening.
Is it the director still going to be on board after Bond 25, or they're moving on?
No,
to
it's Danny Boyle. Listen.
I would say the probability is 55-45 for it happening.
The reason Christopher Nolan didn't want to do it because he wanted to start from scratch.
Right.
So it's very possible that his schedule could line up to do the next one. There's a lot of people that want to do it. It could
It's
be
a possibility.
Denis Villeneuve.
Right.
Right? That's the guy who did Blade Runner.
Right.
And Sicario.
Right.
And is doing the Dune movie, which I'm very excited about. But there's people lined up, but that would be... Imagine an Idris Elba Bond movie directed by Christopher Nolan.
That might be crazy.
That would be crazy.
Just a little.
Christopher Nolan, man. But I feel like he would get Cavill.
That would do... I don't know. I
feel like he would get Cavill. Over under, I say under.
Under 50%.
Under 50%.
I say that right now, because of if you're thinking about the box office, and then also you have to think about how Britain is going to take this, and I think the UK would be okay with it,
right?
Especially right now, and don't get it messed up. Like they just had a half black princess now. The American actress that married Prince Harry, right? And it was a lot of support for it, but it was still people there that's like those old money people that try to call her a monkey and a gangster,
right?
So because it's
I love how gangsters just associated with like black people,
even though just think of that movie Gangs of New York. That's all I'll say.
Whatever, man.
But the point is...
Always rewriting history.
The point is, I think that because it's... The brand is so tied to Britain that maybe just the old money people will be like, no. Although I think it would be more financially lucrative to cast Idris Elba around the world.
Well, he's still from British descent, so...
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. I think it would be fine.
Right.
Especially if you're rebooting Bond again.
So over under.
Under.
How much faith do you have in Idris Elba to carry a movie and for it to be successful? And of the last couple of movies that he's done, how many of them were successes?
Look
at that question that he pulled up, though. Think about that.
Can
he? That's a new question. Before we move on, can he carry a film from start to finish?
Let me ask you a question.
We're not talking about his work is dope.
No.
He's got work.
Can he carry a film? Yes. And
as the lead from start to finish,
bringing
in big numbers.
If you look at Luther, if you look at The Wire,
we're not talking about TV
We're
shows.
talking about leading man movies.
But see, even
blockbuster. Can he do that?
The character Bond is bigger than the actor. What has Daniel Craig done outside of Bond? Right, he did one movie.
But do you believe that people will come out and support it?
Yes.
Did people come out and support? I'm just talking about the movies that he's done recently, where he was the lead in. What is the numbers?
I think it would.
Because these are things they're gonna look at when they decide who's gonna be.
Yeah, I know.
Bond.
I think they're gonna look at their numbers and they're gonna plug in Black Panther numbers into their.
Like I said.
Yeah. No, that is a factor, and all around the world.
He does have the Dark Tower under his belt.
Well,
yeah, he has Dark Tower, a Mountain Between Us.
I didn't hate A Mountain Between Us. I actually
did it make money though?
Movie. No, it didn't. But it wasn't that kind of movie. Point. It was a date movie.
But he also has Beast of No Nation under him. It's a good movie.
Isn't that a Netflix movie?
Yeah. Doesn't matter. It's still a good
But
movie.
I'm talking about what is the numbers that he's doing.
7 years ago, this could have been an option, but they played him. Because I guess they were talking about him for the role 7 years ago. But again, I think, yes, he could lead a movie. That's a good point that Court brings up.
Yeah.
I think he could absolutely lead a movie, especially a big franchise like this. It's not like he's ever been in a big franchise play that failed, right? Mm. So, Daniel Craig was very obscure unless you know Layer Cake, right? but that you put the Bond machine behind him, and if you have enough swag, the machine will take care of the rest.
Right.
And again, I'm not saying that this is a done deal, but the people that want to do the next Bond, that list is amazing.
Yeah.
So,
you talking about the people they get to pick from, right?
Yeah, well, the people that have expressed interest in doing it, which is Denis Villeneuve. Danny Boyle expressed interest, but they got him for this one, so I doubt he'll do the next one. And Christopher Nolan, right? So
shout out to Cowboys and Aliens.
Come on, man. Why you gotta do that?
Moving on.
But and for people that don't know, that was a Daniel Craig movie, not an Idris Elba movie. And Daniel Craig has done specifically nothing outside of Bond. So I think Idris Elba could absolutely carry a big franchise at this stage. Now, next on our list, in more people suck and are stupid, the CW has cast Batwoman, who will appear in this season's Arrow, and the internet went crazy. Again. Not
in the way you would think.
Yes, not in the way that Black Twitter went for Idris Elba.
Right.
I mean, that's was this on Twitter that people were getting upset? Because when I read it on her page, it seemed like people were for it. Like, people liked it.
Yeah, normal human beings who would hear you got cast for a thing and, hey, I support you. And maybe if the show's
great,
whack,
a gay character,
then I'll say it's whack.
But apparently she's not gay enough.
But you haven't seen one reel. You haven't seen one frame yet, and you're already, for some reason, outraged.
Yeah.
Right? There's people that are saying she wasn't gay enough. There are people that are saying that they should have got, I can't remember her name right now, but she plays Deadpool's girlfriend. Maria Baccarin.
Okay, I wouldn't have never got that.
Right?
Oh, and here's another complaint. They said that Rose is not Jewish.
Okay.
Because Batwoman, she's Jewish.
Why are people so upset about fictional characters?
Well,
they're fictional.
The other thing is that
it's not real.
This is a place for people to complain, and it doesn't matter. Like, you just vent.
But you know what's so crazy though? Why isn't it that black people don't get so mad when they have Elizabeth Taylor as Cleopatra, or Charlton Heston as Moses, or all these people that's historically black, and you always have white people in the damn movie, but it doesn't seem like if there is an uproar, they don't make like a big deal about it, or just like black people is mad about it.
You have to understand, Twitter wasn't around back then. People were very upset. My question is,
Gods of Egypt,
all the Richard Spencers of the world, why if they care about, they pretend they care about cultural appropriation, but they never say anything when a white person is cast as a non-white person.
Right.
That's never a problem.
But a lot of that
is one darky in the role of a white person and it's white genocide.
But a lot of that obviously, is changing because people aren't having it anymore. You can't easily whitewash roles as they used to.
And let's be clear, part of this is activism.
Right.
And Ben Kingsley is like the number one offender of playing
everybody but
you name it.
You call him up and he's like, I got
Ben
you.
Ben Kingsley ever played a white person?
No.
Okay.
No.
No.
Isn't the Mandarin white? Trevor's white.
So where was I? What was I saying? I got thrown off by Ben Kingsley.
That's such a great fact, though, that you dropped.
He
was Gandhi.
He was Gandhi. He was a slave in Exodus.
Yo, man, the list goes on. Mandarin.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, but no. Tell me what was I saying before Ben Kingsley? Because I was going somewhere. Oh, okay. Yes. Some of it is activism. Some of it is just sort of inclusion.
Right.
But another part of it is just economics. When we think about the world writ large having more disposable income as a result of, I'm going to say the boogeyman word, globalism, right? But more third world countries are being brought out of poverty, and they have the income to go and do things like watch movies, right?
Right.
And so they're going to want to see themselves on screen. Therefore, companies like Disney and other big companies are putting faces that aren't the traditional white male heterosexual man in as their lead, because more and more of the world has more disposable income to spend on these things.
Right.
So a lot of it is a business decision. And so if you want to decry anything about these things, decry economics. I don't know what that has to do with Ruby Rose. I only know her from John Wick, and she seemed to acquit herself very well when fighting him. I mean, she got bodied, spoiler.
Right.
But so I think she has the physicality, and she's attractive enough to be what the CW looks for. So I think it's
she
good
was in
casting.
some other movie that I've seen recently too.
XXX.
There you go.
38.
She was on Vin Diesel's team.
But I think she has what it seems like they look for in the CW. And I watched the Arrow and I watched the Flash, and it seems like she would fit right in. And I'm just happy that the Bat world is coming in, because that's just the segue to us fully getting the Justice League there.
Right.
You got Supergirl now, you got the Flash, you got Arrow. If you bring in Batwoman, maybe at some point Batman will show up. Superman already did a couple of cameos, so like,
and it's terrible.
I mean, for what it is, it's dope.
Right.
If you ask me, anyway.
Did you watch any of
Legends
those episodes
Tomorrow.
with Superman on Supergirl?
I don't watch Supergirl. It's garbage. But
so then how would you even say, oh, that's cool that he's there, but you didn't watch none of it?
It doesn't matter.
His costume looks terrible.
What is TV, man?
I mean, crap.
You gotta do stuff in the TV budget. But people are terrible, and I think we should give her a shot. And if it's garbage, I have no problem saying it's garbage, just like I don't like Supergirl because it's garbage to me. And so is Legends of Tomorrow, because that's garbage to me. But Flash and Arrow, still good. So, but give her a chance. I'm not going to call...
Which Flash?
No, I'm up to the current season, but I'm not done watching it.
Because I heard talk that people think it's garbage now.
I have no idea, because I'm not like up to date with this
I don't
season.
watch it at all, so I can't really say.
Arrows is coming back strong.
I don't care.
But moving on.
Yeah. Courtney asked if we're going to discuss Crazy Rich Asians.
Yo, they're crazy, they're rich, and they're Asians.
We discussed it.
Yeah, I mean...
No, that's dope. No, it's good that movie is getting made.
That's a movie?
Yes.
Yeah, it's based off of a book.
Yeah, so the idea with
it's
that
an Asian cast.
Yeah, it's all Asian cast. A lot of them are Asian Americans, but it's essentially based on a woman that marries a man whose family is rich. We've seen this
and
before.
They look down on her because she doesn't come from, you know, any type of wealth.
And we've seen this before because in, let's say, The Proposal with Sandra Bullock.
Any random.
Yeah, Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds, which is actually a very funny movie.
Right.
They played well off of each other. Courtney says, do I think it will do numbers? I don't know. And Miss Baldiaki is apparently a fan of Supergirl. I'm sorry, it's garbage.
Trash.
I tried.
Man.
That's hilarious.
But you are great, Miss Baldiaki. The show's garbage, but you're great. So Courtney says the Joy Luck Club was the last all-Asian cast, he thinks. I think that did numbers, but I don't know what Crazy Rich Asians is going to do, because it seems like the comedy in it, from watching the trailer, is Western comedy. And I know that it's an all-Asian cast, but I don't know if that Western style comedy will translate well over there.
Yeah.
Right?
What up, Ronnie?
So...
you mean over in Asia, in the Asian market. Not here, but you're talking about in the Asian market, right?
Japan, China, South Korea. I don't know how well although it is written by Asian Americans, right?
Right.
I don't know. I can't.
And
it might be for the experience of Asian Americans. Yeah. You know, who knows? So we'll see.
So
time will tell.
By the way, Brianna says Constance Wu is good on Fresh Off the Boat. It's promising. No, it may be funny. I just don't know how well it will do overseas, because that's, if it's gonna do big numbers. I don't think it's gonna do Hangover numbers
right
here. So if we're talking about overseas money, speaking of fully Asian cast, the first picture of Mulan came out today.
You talking about the live action?
Yeah.
Right.
And this is supposed to be like a $250 million movie, all sorts of Avengers style special effects and kung fu fighting, like for real.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. I don't care.
I do, and it's gonna be a big movie.
What's up with the Lion King? With like Beyonce playing Nala and like Childish Gambino playing, Simba. When is that coming out? And James Earl Jones is still playing Mufasa.
That's still coming. Don't worry.
When?
You ain't got to worry, Craig.
And what about the live action Aladdin? I'd rather see that than Mulan.
Directed by Guy Ritchie. Both of those are coming out next year.
Both of them?
Yep.
So are they already shooting?
Yes.
Okay. I'm more interested in Aladdin than,
And when you
Lion
say
King.
shooting for Lion King, that's like all CG. I don't know why they're calling it live action.
Right.
There's no humans
I mean, it's
there.
Beyonce and them recording their vocals already.
I know, but that's a CG movie.
Still,
right?
they got to be recording
It's
their
not.
vocals.
It's
if they're
CG,
not
which is
recording
animation,
vocals
but
yet,
they still
then
feel like,
it's not happening.
It's not drawn. So.
I want to know if they're recording. If are they doing anything?
I don't know what they're doing recording, but that's a movie that's going to be all about the special effects. So I'd imagine, like, you get Beyonce in there for a week to do her lines, and
yeah, because it's really on Childish Gambino.
Right. So we'll see how. No, obviously they're going to give Beyonce a bigger part. But okay, moving on, and I say, because this was supposed to be about Batwoman, give the woman a chance.
Yeah.
And let this be a segue.
I don't get what it is with the LGBT community.
Q.
LGBTQ.
A.
And all that.
Plus.
Every letter,
Let's
A, B, C, D, E, F, G,
No,
H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P community, whatever the letters are.
It's LGBTQA+.
I know. It's just.
I take pride in knowing that it's.
Yeah, I heard.
It's a little
the man boy lovers of association.
There's no condescension in my tone whatsoever.
Okay.
Whatever.
Anyway, the point is,
what I'm saying is they need to stop being so uptight, because I remember some weeks back with Scarlett Johansson when she was supposed to be playing some transgendered person, how they got all up.
I was looking forward to that movie.
Yeah, it's just like it'd be better for y'all if you got somebody popular to play the part, because then maybe people would be more susceptible or more sympathetic towards your plight.
To be fair, though,
everybody's sympathetic towards their plight.
To be fair, though, no, that is what Ridley Scott said about Exodus.
Right. That's why you can't cast a black person.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's just put that out there.
All I'm saying is, how does anybody know you're gay unless you tell them you're gay? And what does being gay have to do with playing a part?
I don't think that any of us here
It's just like, no, you didn't take the dick in your booty in the movie, so you're not really gay.
Moving on. Nope. Stop. We're not doing that.
Disarray
in Sony's Spider-Man movie. You're not doing that today. So remember that Silver and Black movie that was supposed to come out? No. Okay.
Nobody does.
So, apparently now Silver is going to be a movie.
Silver Sable
and Black Cat. So Silver Sable's going to get a movie, and Black Cat is going to get a movie.
Right.
And
neither
then
one of those movies
Craven the Hunter is going to get a movie.
Right. None of those movies are coming out.
And
this is all the Spider-Verse stuff?
All the Spider-Verse stuff, because Sony wants
None of it is coming out.
We're doing something and we're creating
this. It's just like Marvel. Look at all these properties and stuff you could do if you buy this Sony stuff, because we're trying to get rid of it.
Right.
Yes, but
you can make all these movies.
I think Sony is out there looking like food right now, right?
Lunch meat.
And they're trying to bolster up their IPs, right? And so they're like, no, we got a whole universe coming. Yeah,
they're showing a leg. You know what I mean? That's all.
Here's the thing.
Nobody gives a crap about none of those movies.
Some people are saying, and this is what you alluded to, LeVar, that it could be because they not only do they know they look like food, they're serving themselves up on a plate to make themselves look more valuable.
Look, we're working on all of this stuff that we're not working on at all.
That's what I'm saying.
So
they're
if
on
you
the
buy
corner.
it, you could be making all of these movies. No.
Yeah. And so they want to prove that they have these big IPs.
It's all hot air.
So that somebody can come along and scoop them up. Because if Fox couldn't survive, there is no way Sony's going to survive as a movie studio. And there's talk that Sony wants to focus just on electronics and video games, and also insurance. That is their largest business in Japan. They sell insurance. So,
Right.
just remember that.
Disney sells humans. So
all I'm saying is I don't give a crap about none of these characters. Give me a Spider-Man and Venom movie though, a good one.
Well,
they're putting out a little bit of leg on the corner to say, "Hey, come pick me up."
right.
You know.
Or this could just be their last hurrah.
Like
right?
none of these movies work without Spider-Man, but you could say the same thing for Venom. But it's just like because of the way they're going in the comics nowadays, and like retelling the origin story of the symbiotes or symbiotes, however you want to pronounce it, it could go either way. Like you can retell it in some other way. Like you don't need Spider-Man to make, because it's an alien. Like you don't need Spider-Man to tell that story. You need Spider-Man if you want the spider to be on his chest, but you don't need Spider-Man in it to make a Venom movie.
They could do something later, like have him meet Spider-Man later.
Yeah.
Speaking of meeting a Spider-Man later, during some meeting, some Sony executive says that they are pushing for a hard PG-13 movie rating for Venom, so that it would leave the door open for him one day interacting with Spider-Man. That said, we also know that Spider-Man Far From Home, which is the next installment, which is coming out next year, the next
possibly Secret War-ish.
We don't know that yet.
Possibly.
But the point I'm trying to make is that's coming out next year. And that also happens to mark the final film in the Sony and Disney deal.
Handshake.
Now, they could re-up the deal, but no announcements have been made yet. It only seems to me like Sony knows that they're getting ready to get Spider-Man back, and so they're putting all these characters into their own franchises to hopefully bring it together for when they take back Spider-Man.
And they're starting to crap.
If Spider-Man Homecoming was a play on Spider-Man coming home to Marvel, and the next one is called Far From Home, is that just a way of telling us now that he's leaving the MCU and going back to the shithole country that is Sony's Spider-Verse?
I think you're digging deep.
I mean, he's
just saying.
Sony just have him leased to them. It's not like they don't still own Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? It's just like we letting y'all borrow him. It's just like just so you can get him back hot, but then we're just gonna put him back over here.
I'm sticking with my guns that it's a Secret Wars thing. You know that he's
I mean, I hope you're right.
Right.
That would be amazing.
Right.
But if it's not, then I don't know that I don't know that Sony knows how to make a good Spider-Man movie.
You know what's crazy to me? That we live in a world where Black Panther did more numbers than a Spider-Man movie.
And Justice League.
I'm just saying.
That's the bigger one, Justice League.
Black Panther in the States did more than Justice League did worldwide.
That's terrific that Black Panther did that. Ant-Man,
Ant-Man has not opened in China yet, right?
That's what
it's right now at about 450 million because it hasn't opened in China. It just opened in the UK this weekend that passed. Right? The UK is one of its biggest markets, but the last Ant-Man did over 100 million in China.
Yeah.
It is so far outperforming. It's already made more in its fourth week.
The original one.
Than the original one, yes. The original made 180. It's already past 200 million in the States. There is a high possibility. It was so smart putting it out
after Infinity War because it's just like, oh, it's the next part in the story.
High possibility that this thing could get to 600, maybe 650, depending on how much growth it does in China.
It's crazy.
And if that happens, that would make it more profitable.
More than Justice League.
Yeah.
All right.
Ant-Man.
Marvel is so genius because it's just like you have to see all of these movies because they all connect. It's the next part in the story.
And Duran says that's a stretch, a good stretch, but a stretch. They have shown they don't.
That's in reference to Sony not knowing how to make a good Spider-Man.
Yes.
So, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what's happening with that deal. It just seems like Sony is either gearing up to take Spider-Man back so that they could sell.
Right.
Or maybe they're trying to fatten up the goose because they're gonna break themselves up piecemeal, so Marvel could just buy back Spider-Man.
Yeah, sounds good. As long as they get money,
and they'll make Spider-Man seem more valuable.
Right.
So we'll see how that plays out. All right. Anybody? Anything else?
No.
Okay. Over under 50%. Does Sony end its Marvel relationship? Its Disney relationship, the Disney deal.
No.
They take back Spider-Man after Far From Home. Over under 50%.
I don't think so.
Okay. You don't think so?
Under 50%.
Like completely, like never let Disney use him again. I don't think so.
Take him back. Bring him.
Why?
Who doesn't want to get a check for not doing work?
Of course, they're going to use him in their own way that they want to use him, but they're not going to stop Marvel from using him.
But that doesn't work for Marvel, right? Marvel needs to be in full creative control. I can't put Spider-Man in Avengers 4 and then Sony comes out like, yo, in the new Spider-Man, we should have him like shitting his pants by mistake because he couldn't find the toilet in time.
Listen, man.
I mean, you're just coming up with ridiculous scenarios.
Look,
Spider-Man is his own person, so if Sony decides he wants Spider-Man is in his own neighborhood. He's doing his own thing. So if they decide they want to do a movie, he could still go back and be in the next Avengers.
The problem with that.
They don't even have to know about what he was doing.
Just like most of the other Avengers.
You know what's going to happen?
Well, just like in all the other Avengers movies or the solo movies, none of them happened to show up. Like when Tony, there was 2 other damn, Iron Man movies where none of the other Avengers show up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or
that was the old days
of
Marvel. Captain America 3 had all the Avengers in it. Thor had Hulk in it.
When Sony says we're going to take Spider-Man back, and then Disney goes, oh, okay, it's yours. Yeah, sure. You just can't use the color palette. You can't use these swatches. You can't use this. You can't use that. Now go ahead and make your own Spider-Man movie. And they were like, well, I guess you guys could take it back, and we'll just collect the check again. And that's just it. Who's going to refuse a check when you don't got to do work?
But I don't know that it's not about doing work.
All I know is both Tom Holland and, Tom, whatever the hell his name is, Tom Hardy, both said they'd be interested in working together. I know that.
I would love to see them work together. I would love to see, because this Venom movie looks trash, and if it was actually done by Marvel,
Black Goop.
I said I didn't hate it. That's very different.
Black Goop.
I even saw you posted it. Done, it was all right.
I said it didn't look whack. I didn't say it didn't look whack.
Trash.
I didn't say it didn't look whack. I said I don't hate it.
Make up your mind.
Look, the point is this: Marvel has nothing to do with this Venom movie, and you cannot say, "Oh, here's Spider-Man in the MCU," and now you do whatever you want outside of that. Right? Do whatever you want with Spider-Man outside of that. You can't, because that will affect the overall big Disney Marvel brand / plan. Right? This deal works because Marvel has creative control of Spider-Man. That's how it works. It's not just like, oh, Spider-Man appears in the Avengers movies and then do what you want. It is when Spider-Man appears in his own movies, we will control what happens in those movies. And so, Has it worked out financially? So far, yes. But Sony doesn't want to be in a position where Marvel's telling them, well, you know what? You can't do this Kraven movie. You can't do that because we want to use that character. Or we don't want to use that character.
My dude, it's just like when there's a Spider-Man comic and then let's say there's a Spider-Man comic and Eric Larson is, writing that one. But then Spider-Man goes and makes an appearance in Wolverine, which Mark Silvestri writes that one. I don't expect it to be the same story.
You don't,
it's a different
but
writer.
People will.
If you read comic books, why would you?
Yeah, but not everybody that watch. If you think that it's only comic book people, no, absolutely not.
It ain't
Avengers
for you.
made
because
$2 billion.
You know how stupid it is when I see these people come in there and then they're like, oh, it's stupid that this happened or it's stupid that happened, and then you watch none of the other movies that connected this whole story. Because if it was really for you, this movie ain't for you if you're not invested in it.
Okay, these movies
people are still going to watch it anyway because they want to be involved with the hot thing that everybody's talking about. But then they still say, oh, it was whack. It was whack because they're not invested in it. or they didn't watch none of the other movies. I try to explain to them, you had to watch this one and this one and this one. Then you would get this scene, and then you would get that scene.
Okay.
If you ain't been, indoctrinated into this, then it's not really for you. You can come watch it, but you're not going to appreciate it.
The movies are for everybody, and that's why they make so much money. Yes, they do play to the audience that knows the lore.
Yeah, it's for me.
But the movies are for everyone.
They're for everyone, but it's really for me.
They're not hardcore films where it's like it's good.
It's for the people who are really into it. That's who they make the movies for. It's for everyone, but it's really for the people who know what it is.
Okay.
And only people who know what it is will get certain things.
Okay. That is not a recipe for a $2 billion movie or even a $1 billion movie just making it for comic book fans. Now, I just want to read some of the comments here.
Well, LeVar got a point. Thanks, Ronnie. Shut the F up, Steve.
Well, I think you're thinking small, and they're thinking big. So this is why there have been no Marvel movies that have been direct adaptations of any comics. They just take the best things that will work on film.
Yes, but the comic book readers get it.
I know, but it's not just for the comic book readers. And to think that is to think small. So anyway, Courtney says... To think small is, like, if you don't watch all of this stuff, it ain't really for you. I had people who did not watch... They said, I was like, did you watch Doctor Strange? Did you watch Guardians of the Galaxy 1 or 2? Did you watch... They watched none of that, but they saw this movie. And they was just like, oh, this was whack. That don't even make no sense. Because you didn't watch none of the other stuff. What I'm saying to you, and we're going in circles now, is that there are so many people that don't watch any superhero movies that came out to see Black Panther and didn't give a shit about the comics or the other movies, right? When these movies make so much money, it's because they have mass appeal to general audiences, and they are designed in that way. There is more for you if you keep up, and even more if you actually know the comics, but these are mass-produced products for mass audiences, and let's not forget that. That's all I'm saying. They're not making them just for the comic book people. Okay.
Yeah, but it's really for the people who love it.
Okay. Courtney says he was hoping that Peter could meet Luke Cage in the Immortal Iron Fist. You lost me at the Immortal Iron Fist, Courtney. Duran says they should sell who to Netflix? Oh, I guess that was in response to Courtney. Duran says Marvel has flooded the market on superhero movies. People will pass on other movies. I think that's kind of true.
Like they'll pass if somebody else is making a superhero movie at this point.
Unless it's wholly original, like a Logan, or like you gotta go Logan or Deadpool.
Which is why this Joker movie is probably going to do numbers.
I think so. You can't try to out Marvel at this stage. Duran says that he thinks LeVar had a point for some reason.
Because LeVar's right.
Courtney says, sounds like the speech I had to give my mother.
I think the speech he's referring to is what LeVar was saying about, some of these things you're not going to get or something like that.
Sure.
Because LeVar's right. Once again.
Duran says he spent the weekend watching all the movies with his boy just to have him like Infinity War was better.
Like Infinity War better so he could get it.
Oh, okay. And then Duran also says he thinks some are great for standalone movies, but others like Thor Ragnarok were a bridge to Infinity War. Yeah, no, they're great. I'm just saying they're making them for large audiences, not just the initiated.
Yeah, but
they're always trying to grow the tent. What?
I'm right, that's what I'm saying.
You're not, but sure. All right, moving on.
Everybody agrees with me, though.
Okay, over or under, did we say this? Oh, we did this. Over or under whether Spider-Man, Sony continues the Spider-Man deal. And you are under?
Yeah,
I'm over
under
45 minutes.
Okay, you're over that they're going to continue.
Oh, that they're going to continue? Yes. I thought you meant that they're going to stop, that they're going to cease. Yeah, I'm over.
They're going to still work with them. Why? Okay. Why not get this check?
I think they're trying to sell, so I guess that would... I'm going to say under. Maybe
you're saying but under in that either they keep it, that they're going to keep it for themselves. That's what you mean.
They're going to take it back. Take back control of Spidey, and he won't be in the MCU. Gotcha. That's what I'm saying.
Duran, I think you're right. They're going to sell it all.
I mean, I don't think Disney can buy another property so soon, but we'll see. Because they're still trying to get through this thing. Unless they just buy the Spider-Man property, then it'll be no problem.
Yeah.
Right.
But they can't buy the whole of Sony because they're going to have to deal with all that regulation.
No, just buy Spidey.
If Sony wants to sell it. All right, moving on to our next topic in the ongoing saga of James Gunn, Marvel, and the Twitterverse. Apparently, there are talks underway to find a way to bring back James Gunn. And
James Gunn.
Yeah,
right?
James
Gunn
is
son.
not effing done, son.
Yeah, so apparently they are going. Hollywood Reporter says that they are. We talked about him getting multiple offers, including from Warner Brothers, but he can't entertain those offers until he's done. He's in contract negotiations with Marvel now for his exit package, which will be paying him $7 to $10 million.
Secure the bag, my guy.
For doing nothing, potentially having him come back to produce Marvel movies in the future and or shadow produce Guardians 3.
Hey, what was that line that you wrote in what was that on the 5th page of Guardians 3? Oh, you mean don't do that? Yeah. Was that correct? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you know what?
All right, bye.
Why don't I just take over real quick? No, but also apparently one of the largest defenders of James Gunn is Kevin Feige. Apparently, he found out Kevin Feige found out James Gunn got fired just like we did.
On Twitter, he was just
on
like,
Twitter.
Not my guy.
Hold on. So I'm running this $18 billion franchise for you, and I don't get a call before you fire one of my top guys?
Right.
The guy I was grooming to take my spot? Like
No.
that's what's hot in the streets?
That's how it works, man.
So, like, apparently, so he's behind the rehire James Gunn thing, and they want to find a way to bring him back, but the company has to save face, obviously, because the mouse brand comes first. And also, it looks like they say that Alan Horn and Kevin Feige had some heated words because the firing happened while Bob Iger was on vacation.
Right.
Yeah.
Instantly. So
Iger was on vacation
when it happened. Not to say he didn't get the call, right? He could have signed off on this too.
Right.
But technically,
your boy Alan Horn was just like, "Yo,
Kevin Feige's
done."
boss. Like, yo, you're done.
Right.
So I find this all very, very interesting. Because here's the thing: what if Kevin Feige's like, yo, because his contract's about to be up. What if he's like, yo, I'm out?
Do you really think he? I mean,
because he could go to any other studio and get all the money he wants.
But this is his baby.
Depends on what he wants to do.
No, but he sent the baby to college. He got him to Infinity War.
Right.
But it's not over yet. Maybe after Infinity War 2.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying his contract is up after the next Avengers.
Yeah.
So his plan, and there's no other movies. The only other movie announced past Spider-Man Far From Home was Guardians 3. Right. So what I'm saying is, it's not about James Gunn at this point. It's like, yo, how are you gonna fire one of my people without calling me? He could just feel like that's disrespect. At the very least, he could use it for leverage. And again,
I think that's more of it because just leverage to get more money or something to that effect. You know what I mean?
And the other thing is, if he could leave and go to Warner Brothers, and they'll let him do whatever he wants and pay him whatever he wants. So it's not like he would have to take a pay cut.
Right.
This is a guy who can do whatever he wants in Hollywood at this stage. So, you know.
He can write his own ticket, but we'll see how it plays out, man.
Yeah, it's really tricky because they're in the corner, you know.
Because Alan Horn should have shut his mouth and just said, we're looking into this matter and we take it seriously. Not.
You mean like give like the simple PR,
right?
Like standard answer, right? Before
right.
Or you know,
but the
response.
Problem is you had that shareholder vote.
Yo, man, they need this Fox. They need this Fox deal.
Well, basically, I think they're going to give him his job back, or at least I would like them to. But, you know, being as how we still talking about it, like every week we talking about it, it seems like that's what's going to happen.
Worse for Disney. Yeah. And you know that if they do give him his job back, the other side of it, because they're just quiet right now, waiting. The trolls,
they're swimming.
The Trolls is like, oh.
Trolls, sharks, whatever.
Please,
Yeah.
Please give him his job back. I can't. I want you to give him his job
All
back.
you see
All
is
you
their
do
eyes
is-
in the bushes,
all
like
you
their
do
glowing
is
eyes. That's all you see
Give
from
him
that.
his job back, and then whatever outrage it is, fake outrage from whatever people are going to be fake outrage, just ignore it for a week, and then they'll be on to the next story. They won't care anymore.
It depends on how that
Trump will say
outrage,
something stupid.
Yeah, but Trump might
spills
say
out.
something stupid about this. 'Cause
Yeah,
he
but
fired
then what's going to
Roseanne.
happen is Trump going to do something stupid again, and then it'll be some other subject.
No, Trump can say something dumb about this and just cancel the deal.
Yeah,
FCC.
because they still need the FCC approval.
It's true. Trump
It's-
talked
And
it's-
remember,
it's
one
a
of the
hard
Disney boys
situation.
is on Mar-a-Lago.
Ike Perlmutter, the guy that Kevin Feige famously had beef with and maneuvered his way outside of, because
To deal with outside
right,
of
so
dealing with
Ike
them.
Perlmutter is the head of Marvel Entertainment, right? Kevin Feige used to have to go to him for approval on anything he did, and now Kevin Feige has maneuvered his way to report directly to Alan Horn.
Directly, right, to Horn.
Horn and
Iger.
And now Ike Perlmutter runs all the TV stuff. So what they're doing with Netflix, what they're doing with the cartoons, what they're doing with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., that's all Ike Perlmutter. And the comics and everything. But he is a Trump loyalist who
He has
is
Trump
in
on
secret-
speed dial.
not only on speed dial, he's actually, along with two other bigwig executives, are running the VA in an unofficial position, the Veterans Association that takes care of our troops and their well-being as they've come back from fighting for America.
Yeah, he's gonna make veterans benefits great again.
So keep that in mind. All right, and now it is time for us to move on to the final topic of the day.
Even though the veterans benefits and pensions are being slashed.
Yeah, well, like I said,
And
he's
gouged.
in charge of it.
Hey,
Final topic of the day,
Make it
the
all great again.
Oscars. What if I told you that I wanted all the benefits of the audience that you bring,
right.
but I don't want to consider you I don't think highly enough of you to have you have a seat at the big kids table. So I set this little kiddie table aside for you that says, and I pat you on the head and say, here, you did something nice. But I will take all the money that you bring in.
Right.
How would you feel about that?
That sounds like
Par for the course.
affirmative action, or it sounds like,
Or what you said earlier in the week, it sounds
The
like what
Grammys?
they did at the Grammys, yeah.
yeah. It's just like basically back in the 90s and stuff like that, in the 80s, it's just they're like, a lot of times they give black people awards and they have you come perform on their show, but they're not televising you winning your award. So basically, I mean, it's kind of the same thing here, or it's like we're gonna use you for our ratings, but it's just like consolation.
Courtney
We're
says
gonna-
colonizers.
Yeah, basically.
That's what I said.
Colonizers be colonizing.
Par for the course.
No, what this really is about is that there was a lot of talk and consideration for Black Panther to at least be nominated for Best Picture this year. And this is a way where they can be, but they look at it as just a big action movie.
Right.
And so this is a way for them to give it an Oscar or at least a nomination without actually having them being considered with the
Movies that they
titles
respect.
that nobody watch.
And I don't even think, and there's others who think like this, and I agree that I don't think this is about specifically Black Panther setting up that award for Black Panther. This is just a long game of getting more money. You know what I mean? And getting more eyeballs and getting more people to sit down and watch. It's humans.
But here's the problem.
This is not short term stuff. This is always long term stuff.
But here's the problem. There was a big outcry that the Oscars was getting too snooty, right?
Right.
When The Dark Knight didn't get nominated for Best Picture, because many people believed that was the Best Picture of the year. Heath Ledger won Best Supporting Actor posthumously for it, and Christopher Nolan was not nominated for Best Director, nor was the film nominated for Best Picture. So the following year, as a reaction to that, they increased the number to up to 10 films could get nominated for Best Picture.
Right.
Even though they don't plan on giving it to like at least
those 10 movies were then in recent years becoming occupied by still obscure movies. So they've defeated the point of having the 10. The whole reason they were supposed to have 10 nominations is so that they could nominate some of the more popular movies. And they moved to 10, and they still filled it with movies that most people have adapted screenplay.
So, and maybe fair enough, but you know, the films that were chosen.
Logan was the best movie I saw that year.
Okay. So, but the Dunkirk was that movie. You know what I mean? So or some people like The Shape of Water, right? But the movies that were nominated did have a right to be nominated. You know, in something like where you and I both said that Blade Runner was an amazing movie, nobody went to see it, right?
That's true too.
It was a brick house. So I don't think it's so much as it's nothing new that people have complained or have seen movies that have been really good and just also happen to be popular, but doesn't get any awards. You know what I'm saying? And they get crapped on at the Oscars. The director, the filmmaker, whomever, they move on and they try to make something else because they continue to try and get that award, you know. And we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We don't know who puts the money into these things or whatever, but you know, you fight for another day. So I don't think it's a necessity to have like Fast 12 as best movie of the year.
Jurassic World 38.
Yeah, and I don't want to see this like pseudo MTV movie awards category of best popular movie.
Well, I heard this award was
going
to be in the shape not of a golden man, but it's going to be a golden brick. That's what I heard was happening.
And is that something that you want Black Panther to win?
No. I don't support this. And now I'm going to get down into why I think this is really happening, and this is very interesting. So the Oscars is its own organization, but they are in a contract to be broadcast by ABC. ABC is the one who pushed for these new changes to bring in more viewers so that they can make more ad dollars because their Oscar ratings have been dipping. Why have they been dipping? Because
nobody gives
it was a lot of movies that people haven't seen.
And it's 11 hours long.
Right. So they put it...
And it got political. Well, I guess it was always political.
They put it... They're making...
Once they started being really anti-Trump and all the Trump tards saw that, people don't watch it.
So they're making 3 major changes. The show will be limited to 3 hours. They're going to move some awards during the commercial, so they won't take place on camera. That's how they get the 3-hour mark. And they're introducing this Popular Films Award. This was suggested by ABC. ABC, who is owned by none other than the Walt Disney Corporation.
Right.
The Walt Disney Corporation, who makes the most successful superhero movies, a la Black Panther and Infinity War.
Right.
Now, you know how every year... at some point, the Oscars created a Best Animated Feature category. That's what this seems like, right? But every year, it's always the Pixar movies that wins. Who do we think is going to win the popular movie every year?
Disney.
And this is a way for them to say, now these pictures are winning Oscars. And again, one company that if this Fox deal goes through, they're going to own 40% of the box office. Right? Right. They are the ones responsible for putting on the award show or broadcasting the award show. Now they're suggesting these changes. I can't point out anything like specifically wrong, but it feels icky.
They're also the company that bullies their way in movie theaters that says like you're going to put this movie on in like 3 of your screens or else.
Right. And now, to be fair, they said that the movies that are considered for best popular film can also be considered for best picture.
You talking about the Oscars that said that?
Yes.
I feel like there was somebody with a gun behind their head as they were making that announcement.
But the other thing is this. why can't and I'm look, there are people Brianna says that Black Panther was a great film, but it shouldn't get Best Picture though. Only reason I would root for it is because it would be a big move for the culture. I don't want a participation award. I do think that Black Panther had some subject matter that it could be at least offered a nomination. I'm not saying it should win, but I personally think
that CG doesn't deserve to win.
It doesn't.
Look, I didn't say it should win Best Visual Effects, but I think that Infinity War deserves to be nominated for Best Picture, and I'll tell you why. And I think the Russo brothers need to be nominated for Best Director.
Because to tell a story for 10 years and then have it build up and culminate in that.
Not to mention, you are putting together characters from their own franchises, and you have 32 lead characters, and you all give them the right amount of time, and you tell a story that shows us the hero's journey from 2 points, not to mention some of the greatest CG, at least for Thanos, that we've ever seen. They made you empathize with the villain. They sent the villain on the hero's journey. You've tied up this thing, and then you've not only blown my mind, but you've packed an emotional punch.
Hulk didn't bounce on the spaceship, bro.
Peter Parker didn't feel so good.
I'm just saying, Hulk didn't bounce. So
this was no place to die.
Right.
Yeah.
My point
and then he dies.
If you could do all of that in one movie that is also a blockbuster, I think that deserves to be looked at as the best achievement in filmmaking that year. I'm sorry, it does. And if you don't think that because you think somebody's doing a tap dancing movie is better, like, I think your morals and your priorities are messed up. I'm not saying it needs to win, but that should be recognized for the best achievement, Best Picture in film this year, for what they were able to pull off in that movie.
Look, man,
it should definitely win an award for special effects.
Right.
For because I'm sure Lord of the Rings won for special effects, didn't it?
Lord of the Rings won for everything it was nominated for,
everything,
including best actor. Well, not best actor, but best picture, score, director, everything.
Visual effects.
Andy Serkis won an award for that, right?
Yeah, visual effects, everything.
I don't know if Andy Serkis won an award because they didn't give they gave out a visual effects.
Andy
award.
Serkis has never won any Oscars.
I don't think so.
As we kind of clean this up, bottom line is that one of the things is across the board, these type
Brianna
of...
says this is a participation award, and Courtney says this is no place to die. Had him sad.
Yeah, like these type of award shows.
I felt that like.
Hold on, these type of award shows across the board are all losing ratings, left and right. You know what I'm saying? Because people have phones. Yeah, people have phones. People have a ton of other things to do.
No, because you go back at the end and just watch who won what.
And that's it.
That's all I watch after the show, who won what, and whatever the performances was that I wanted to see, I watch it on YouTube after the fact. I don't have time to invest 3 and 4 hours in no boring ass show to watch all these damn commercials, to watch all these people that I never even heard of, because I don't care.
No one has the attention span for those things anymore, and it's really for the industry. It's an award that's given out for the industry, to the industry. It's about the industry.
It's a work award. Like, you get Employee of the Month.
That's exactly what it is.
But maybe it shouldn't be televised then.
But
that said, 1 second, I would be very excited just to see if it was like, okay, who's gonna win this year? Is it Infinity War? Like, or is Wonder Woman 2 or Captain Marvel gonna win for best whatever? Like, if you got that showdown, if DC was really competing and that was a real showdown to see who won, that would, like, just the fanboy side of it would be excited to see that.
So should there be a superhero genre?
No,
of the
it
Oscars?
shouldn't. I'm just saying. I'm just
because
arguing.
they do so many.
I'm arguing it
a year. They probably should be.
I'm just being devil's advocate.
I mean,
right?
I really think there should be a popular movie category.
So you're in favor of it. Why?
Because popular movies deserve awards.
Yeah, they should.
They shouldn't just win MTV awards.
Yeah, they should be considered for Best Picture. Like,
They should be.
Of all pictures, not in
if
their
it's
own
a good
category.
picture, not just because you spent a bunch of money on it. If it is a good picture, then it should be nominated for Best Picture. Not because it's a superhero movie, you shouldn't nominate it. All I'm saying is you should put some respect on Infinity War's name.
You should. And also, they have not said the criteria by which they would how you qualify for Best Picture. Is it just box office? Because then Transformers could get nominated. All right.
Horror.
So you are in favor of it, and I do think there is some element of, like, especially with the superhero movies, if Marvel actually had some competition one day where you can see, well, which of the 12 superhero movies that got released this year is gonna take it home.
Right.
There is some interest to that, and you get that bragging rights as a fan or whatever, right? Because like this year, Marvel has 3 movies coming. 2019, Marvel has 3 movies coming out. That's Captain Marvel, Far From Home, Avengers 4. DC has 3 movies coming out.
Brick.
Shazam, Wonder Woman 2, and Aquaman. Although
that's coming out this year.
No, but that's Joker. The Joker is the other one.
Let's go.
I'm only interested in the Joker.
Let's go back in time for a second, right? I just typed up 2007 summer movies, right? Most popular feature movies in 2007. Hot Fuzz, Spider-Man 3, Golden Compass, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Transformers, Superbad, Stardust. Now,
Stardust was I don't know if you know about that movie.
Should that be in the category to figure out who was the best popular film?
I think
that got your
I
attention?
think Harry Potter and Stardust.
You don't want to put your ticket in for Spider-Man 3?
Not today.
Transformers?
Which Transformers?
The first one. That's when it first came out.
Okay, you can put that in there.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, what happens when it gets to that point, when you're dealing with the last night?
Well, I mean, that's the problem with the popular award, right? Like, not every big movie is good, right? Even right now, there's only 2 movies I would put in that popular category.
Right.
Black Panther and Infinity War?
Yeah, unless you're going to throw, like, Star Wars and Jurassic World.
No.
No. And then this wouldn't even matter because, there's...
Oh, Jumanji.
Jumanji.
Yeah, here you go.
Made $1 billion,
Incredibles 2.
Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Transformers Dark of the Moon. Pirates of the Caribbean. On Stranger Tides. The Twilight Saga. Breaking Dawn. Mission Impossible, Ghost Protocol, and Fast 5.
Ghost Protocol all day. And Fast 5 was I. Wasn't even whack.
Hour 12.
Yeah, he's right.
All right.
So, yeah,
well, with that, yay or nay for this popular Oscar category?
No.
All I'm saying is I ain't watching that shit anyway.
Okay. So we have 2 nays and I ain't watching that shit anyway.
Yeah.
All right, folks, that is it. Mr. Johnson, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me at The Dude Abides with a couple periods in between and a Z at the end.
Oh.
Something like that. Something in that arrangement. I don't know. I be smoking a lot. But yeah, you can find me on Instagrams. I don't be on no other social media. But check me out on Facebook too.
He is also planning a new show where he reviews toys. It's coming soon. So keep that in mind.
It's coming the day after I hit the lotto.
Yes, sir.
Where can they find you, good sir?
Why Woods, Why Not on most social media platforms that I'm not on.
Okay.
And whywoodswhynot.com.
Social media personalities with no social media presence. It's perfect.
You see how it works?
Actually I don't. That's the problem.
You don't?
Not even a little bit. All right. And you can find me, your host of On the Real, on your favorite social media network, as long as it's not Snapchat, at Steve A.M. Johnson. You can also find me every Saturday. We're on the second page where we keep you up to date on the latest of the Trump antics. And occasionally you can find me on the 36 Chambers of Fatherhood, which it's dads talking about dad stuff. And soon you will be able to find us on Patreon and some other places.
Yeah. I'm trying to get this shmoney.
YouTube and Facebook live streaming every Monday. Please, please, please do us a favor. Like, share, comment, even comment after the fact. We will try our best to reply to you.
2009 summer movies, right? Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen.
And on that note, folks, it's been a great show.
X-Men Origins Wolverine.